Understanding music theory is a game changer for any singer. It is the foundation for reading music, harmonizing, and interpreting songs. Okay, so if you didn't go to music school and have no experience in music theory, I am telling you now that getting even a basic knowledge of music theory, how music is structured, is going to make a huge difference in your singing. So today, I'm going to share 10 essential tips to help you master music theory basics so that you can become a more confident and knowledgeable musician. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to learn are key signatures. Key signatures tell you which notes are sharp or flat throughout a song, okay? And keys are like families of harmony and melody. All right. And so when you familiarize yourself with the major and minor key signatures, you can practice identifying them at a glance so that immediately you know if you see two sharps at the beginning of a piece, that song is either in D major or B minor. And therefore, understanding the key signature is going to make sight reading way, way easier. So get to know your key signatures. It's really, really important. The next thing that you need to know is you need to understand intervals. What an interval is the space between two notes. Now, when we're talking about an interval has both a distance, which is marked by a number, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and it has a quality, which it talks about how it actually sounds. Okay, so for instance, going from this note to that note is what is called a third. And it's called a third because the top note is 3 notes away from the bottom note. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is a third. But the thing is that the quality of that interval is major. But we can also have a minor third. That's still a third, but it sounds different. And so the quality is different than a major. So there are major, minor, diminished, and augmented and perfect intervals. So if you want to get to know music theory, you got to get to know your intervals and what the difference is between all of them. Okay? And practice recognizing the intervals by sound, as well as practicing singing them. And then they'll start to make more sense. Now, the third tip is to practice rhythm and counting. Okay. Now, sometimes this is the hardest part for some singers, especially if you weren't really great in math. Okay, because rhythm is a very left-brained activity. Okay, but the thing is that the rhythm of the music is the heartbeat of the music. All right, so what you need to do is you need to start by learning basic note values. Okay, a quarter note equals 1 beat, an eighth note equals a half a beat, a half note equals 2 beats, so on and so forth. And then you need to learn how to count those note values in various time signatures and what a time signature is, like 4/4, 3/4, 6/8. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to be able to recognize a time signature and how it is counted, how that particular time signature is counted, and then clap out the rhythms of your songs, making sure that you're finding the intricacies of the different kind of rhythmic patterns. And then that's going to help you build your confidence in your timing. Okay. Now, tip 4 is sort of related to tip 1, okay? And that is about the mastering the circle of fifths. What the circle of fifths is a tool to understand the relationships between certain keys. Okay, so it shows how keys are connected by fifths, helping you learn common chord progressions and identify key signatures in a song and determine whether they're major or minor. Okay, so this video is not about understanding the circle of fifths, although I have other videos that I talk about it, so you can go and check those videos out. But understanding the circle of fifths is going to make key relationships and key signatures so easy to understand. Okay, so learn your circle of fifths. The fifth thing that you need to do is learn about chord progressions. Okay, chord progressions are sequences of chords that form the foundation of most songs. Okay, so the thing is that there are chord progressions that are often marked as Roman numerals. Okay, so like you may hear of a very popular chord progression called 1-4-5-1. And what that means is that you're playing the chord that is based on the first tone of the scale. So in C major, it's the C chord, okay? Then you're playing a chord that is based on the fourth tone of the scale. In C major, that would be F. Okay? Then you would be playing a chord that is based on the fifth degree of the scale, which in C major would be G. And then you would go back to the 1 chord. Okay? So learning common chord progressions can really help you understand the harmonies of a song, and it will make learning songs faster and give you insight onto how those songs are structured harmonically. The sixth thing that you need to do is you need to be able to recognize scales and modes. Okay, what a scale is a series of notes in a particular pattern of half steps and whole steps that are the building blocks of the melody. So what you want to do is you want to be able to learn the major and minor scales first. And then, if you want to get more advanced, you can explore some of the church modes like Dorian mode, Phrygian mode, Lydian mode, and so on. Okay? So, practicing scales while you sing them and even playing them on the piano can absolutely help you improve pitch accuracy, and it makes improvisation easier for you if you sing a genre of music like jazz that requires improv, if you ever want to experiment with melodies, because improvisation is just the art of finding notes in the harmonies with that are built from the scales and putting them in such an order that it makes sense and sounds interesting. Okay, so recognize scales and modes. The next tip, you need to understand basic harmony. Okay, so harmony is what adds richness to the music. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to start with simple harmonies like thirds and fifths. Okay, so that's just playing simple chords. Okay, so if you just play a root position chord underneath a melody that has notes within that chord, that can help you understand the relationship between the chord and the melody. Okay, then what you can do is you can try harmonizing a melody over a melody that you already know. Okay, so if you take a melody that you know and you just start playing with chords that share pitches within that melody, you may find an interesting harmonization that enhances the melody. Okay, so understanding basic harmony is going to help you be able to sing harmonies, okay, with other people, and also create vocal arrangements. So that could be very helpful. Tip number 8 is you need to have a basic understanding and memorization of musical terms and symbols. Okay, so there are, expressive markings like crescendo or staccato or con brio. And there are tempo markings like andante and allegro. And there are diacritical, or there are other articulation markings like legato and tenuto and marcato. You need to know what the most common markings and musical terms and symbols are. You need to know what da capo means and da capo al segno or da capo al coda, so that you know how to follow the music when you see things written on that. Those musical terms and symbols show you how the music is to be sung or performed. Okay, so make sure that you memorize those musical terms and symbols. Okay, tip number 9 is something that I am super passionate about. You need to practice sight reading regularly. Sight reading on the piano or another instrument, or sight singing. Because what that does, it helps you sing unfamiliar music accurately and confidently. Okay. And so set aside a few minutes every day where you pull out a piece or a section of a piece and you sight read it. Do a short analysis of it so that you see what key signature it's in, what time signature it's in, if there are any patterns or skips or leaps or whatever in the music that you need to take notice of. And then start singing it or playing it, and don't stop until you get to the end. Okay, don't stop. That's really, really important. And then what that's going to do is that's going to start training your brain, your eyes, your ears, your voice to recognize things in the music like melody and harmony and patterns and things, that is just going to allow you to learn music faster and understand the layers of the music more thoroughly. Okay, and that brings me to the final tip, which is apply music theory to the songs that you're singing. Okay, so take some songs that you're working on and start to analyze them. Okay, identify the key, recognize the intervals, notice any recurring chord changes and chord progressions. This practical application of theory actually deepens your understanding of the music theory, but also of the song that you're singing. And it's going to make you a more informed, accurate, and expressive singer. So, even though music theory might feel super overwhelming, and I know it can be super overwhelming, each of these tips builds on the next. Okay, so start small, practice consistently, and you're going to notice that huge improvements in your musicianship and understanding of your music will happen quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay, so if you found this video valuable, click the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, because I am passionate about making sure that singers are not only good singers, but also good musicians. And that's where music theory comes in. Until next time.